Hello, and welcome to this Heroes of Blackreach tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be looking at army building. So the first thing that you need when building an army is at least one recruitment tile. So here we have a recruitment tile for the Green Raiders. Let's go around and have a look at what some of the different symbols mean on a recruitment tile. So a recruitment tile will always have a faction badge. That's either the green Orc faction badge or the blue Ultramarine faction badge. Each recruitment tile has a name. In this case, this is the recruitment tile for the Green Raiders. Next, the recruitment tile also has a squad badge. So in this case, this is the badge for the Goth Orc clan. Recruitment tiles also have a section for special abilities. This special ability gives the Green Raiders an order, and we'll look at orders later in this tutorial. This red skull symbol is the breaking point for this recruitment tile, and I'll cover breaking points later in the tutorial. This number in the bottom left hand corner is the cost of the recruitment tile. So when you're building an army, you usually have a particular number of points that you're aiming for, so maybe a 500 point army or a 1000 point army. So these 80 points will contribute towards that 500 or 1000 point total. Next, we have the units that form the combat group for this recruitment tile. So in this case, it is 4 units of sluggers that form the combat group. As a result of this recruitment tile, you would therefore have these 4 units of sluggers out on the battle grid. So a recruitment tile usually doesn't sit in isolation. There are spaces on either side of the recruitment tile for you to add support tiles. On the left hand side, you may have the option to add specific support tiles. So in this case, that will be a support tile which is specific to the Green Raiders. On the right hand side, you can add support tiles that can be used by the Green Raiders, but also could be used by different recruitment tiles. So here you can see the Sons of Mork. So on the left hand side of the Sons of Mork recruitment tile, you have a space where you can add specific support tiles for the Sons of Mork. And if you notice, the Green Raiders have that black and grey colouring on the left hand side, whereas the Sons of Mork have a blue and yellow colouring. That's used to help identify which tiles are specific to which recruitment tiles. On the right hand side, you can see that both of those recruitment tiles have the same black and white check pattern. As a result, you can mix and match support tiles with either of these recruitment tiles. So recruitment tiles typically have 1 or 2 slots where you can add recruitment options. Recruitment options allow you to further customize your recruitment tile. And there are many different types of recruitment options you can add to a recruitment tile, and we'll go through those in more detail later in this tutorial. One last key thing to point out on a recruitment tile is that in either side of those 2 recruitment options, you have pairs of recruitment option stripes. Later in the tutorial, we'll see how you use those stripes to make sure that you place valid recruitment options onto the recruitment tile. So we've mentioned support tiles briefly. Let's now have a look at support tiles in more detail. So here we have a support tile that can be used with the Green Raiders. This allows the Green Raiders to add 3 more shooters. A support tile cannot exist in isolation. It must always be attached to a recruitment tile. And here we can see how this specific recruitment tile gets added to the side of the Green Raiders. You'll notice that where the support tile meets the recruitment tile, the support tile matches the colours of the recruitment tile. That's how you can tell that it is a specific support tile for this recruitment tile. You'll also notice that this support tile has a space on the left hand side to be able to allow more support tiles to be added to it. So let's go ahead and do that. We can add the boss. So again, you see the colours of that support tile fit in with the colours of the previous support tile, making this a specific support tile. The boss support tile, though, does not have a space on the left hand side to allow you to dock another support tile. So in this case, once you've added the boss, that's as far as you can go in terms of adding more faction specific support tiles. Okay, let's have a look at more general support tiles. So here we have a support tile for the burner boys. Again, remember a support tile cannot exist in isolation. So we need to dock that into the Green Raiders recruitment tile, and you can see that that black and white checkerboard pattern matches. Now the burner boys support tile also has a space on the right hand side to add another support tile. So here we have extended it by adding a Death Dread support tile. The Death Dread though does not have the ability to add another support tile onto it, so we couldn't add any more support units to this recruitment tile. So recruitment tiles and support tiles have those small slots in them, and that's where we will be adding the recruitment options. So let's have a look at recruitment options in more detail. Recruitment options come in 5 different kinds. You have support options, gear and vehicle gear, customization options, psychic powers, and orders. And I'll go through each one of these in turn so you can see what they look like. So starting with support options, these are faction-specific options that you can add to a recruitment tile or a support tile, and they provide you with either infantry or vehicle upgrades for your base recruitment tile. So on the left-hand side, we can see the orc support option. So we have a truck, and then at the bottom we also have the flip side of that. On the right-hand side, we have a support option for the Ultramarines. So we have a rhino, and then again we have the flip side of that below it. Each different kind of recruitment option has symbols on the back of it that help you to work out which type of recruitment option you have. So if you're unsure when you pick up a recruitment option what type of recruitment option it is, simply flip it over and have a look at the symbol on the back. So let's have a look at the Ultramarine support option, the Rhino, in a little more detail and see what's on that token. So first of all we have the name of the token, in this case the Rhino. Next we have which infantry or vehicle unit you gain when you buy this recruitment option. All recruitment options have these stripes on either side, and again I'll look at that in more detail later. Recruitment options also have a cost in the same way that support tiles and recruitment tiles do. Because support options add infantry or vehicle units, then they'll also have a breaking point associated with that unit, and we'll cover breaking points in more detail later. Finally, the support option may have extra special abilities. So the second type of recruitment option is gear and vehicle gear. On the left hand side we have an example of gear, and on the right hand side an example of vehicle gear. So gear is a recruitment option that can be added to infantry units. On the right hand side we can see options that can be added to vehicles. So the orc vehicles may add a red paint job, and the ultramarine vehicles may gain Promethium. The symbols on the back of each one of those recruitment tiles has been shown. So gear tokens are similar but just slightly different to the support option that we saw before. So let's have a look at it in a little more detail. So like the support option, it has a name, in this case ammo. And also it has the stripes on either side of the recruitment token. It also has a cost, but this time the bottom right corner tells you how many markers or potentially special abilities that this recruitment option provides you. So in this case you would get 3 ammo tokens that you can spend throughout the game that would give you improved firing. The next type of recruitment option is the customization option. Customization options can only be applied to characters. So if you were to add a customization option to a squad, then only the leader of that squad would be able to use the customization option. The next type of recruitment option are psychic powers. There are only 2 units in the game which can use psychic powers. They are the Weird Boy for the Orcs and the Librarian for the Ultramarines. So I'm not going to cover psychic powers here, but I will do a tutorial on psychic powers in the future, so look out for that. The final type of recruitment option are orders. These are recruitment options that can only be added to command tiles, and we'll look at command tiles a little later. The effects of these order tokens, though, apply across your whole army. So to use the Sons of Gulliman token as an example, the Sons of Gulliman token comes with 3 markers, And so even though the Sons of Guilliman token can only be placed onto a command tile, those 3 markers can be used by any unit in your whole army. So I've mentioned these recruitment option stripes a few times now. So let's have a look at where they're used and how you make sure that you're adding legal recruitment options to your recruitment tiles. So here we have a Devastator squad, which is a recruitment tile, and that has 2 support tiles, Brother Orad and the Dreadnought. And each tile has 1 recruitment option added to it. So the Thunderfire Cannon, the Attack Bike, and the Machine Spirit. So how do you know which recruitment options you can add to your tiles? The rule is that one side of the stripes on the recruitment option must match the stripes on the recruitment or support tile. So if we look at the Thunderfire Cannon, you can see that the stripes on the left-hand side of the Thunderfire Cannon match with the stripes on the recruitment tile. And again, the stripes on the left-hand side of the Attack Bike match with the stripes on Brother Orad's recruitment tile. And finally, for the Machine Spirit, you can see those black and red stripes matching on the left-hand side. So it would be possible to swap over the Attack Bike and the Thunderfire Cannon, and you'd still have a perfectly legal army. But you couldn't swap the Machine Spirit into either the Attack Bike or Thunderfire Cannon locations because they do not have the black and red stripes. The next thing to consider is replacements. So when adding a recruitment option to a tile, sometimes you replace units rather than adding extra units. So here we can see the recruitment tile for Sergeant Vorolanos' tactical squad. And if we look at the bottom, we can see that it comes with Sergeant Vorolanos, a plasma gun, and 2 units of tactical marines. As a recruitment option, we have added the heavy weapon. So on the heavy weapon recruitment tile, there is this symbol that matches the symbol on the recruitment tile. This symbol means that the heavy weapon squad is a replacement for one of the tactical squads. So we need to take this unit of tactical marines, and we need to remove them, and then depending on the different type of units, we may have 1 or more units that we can add in instead. So for Sergeant Vorolanos' tactical squad, we have both a heavy bolter or a las cannon that we can swap in for that tactical squad. So in this case, I'm going to take the heavy bolters. So you have to pick a single unit to replace that tactical squad. You can't take both the heavy bolter and the las cannon, you have to pick one. So in Heroes of Black Reach, when you're playing the game, the way that you control your units is through the use of orders. And so your recruitment tiles and support tiles will give you a certain number of orders that you can then use in the battle to control your units. So here we can see again the Devastator squad with Brother Orad and the Dreadnought. Now let's work out how many orders this small army would have. So to do that, we need to count up the stars that are visible on the recruitment tiles and support tiles and recruitment options. So we have 1 order token provided by Sergeant Tyrion's squad. We have another order token that's provided by Sergeant Tyrion himself. And we have a 3rd order token that's provided by the Machine Spirit on the Dreadnought. Order stars come in 2 different types. They are either yellow or they are grey. Yellow orders mean that you can give those orders to any unit in your army. Grey orders, though, are personal orders. So that Machine Spirit order can only be given to the Dreadnought. So for this particular Ultramarine army, they would have 3 orders, and each turn they would be able to use those 3 orders, but they would have to give one of those orders to the Dreadnought. So as units on the battlefield get killed, that can reduce the number of orders that you have for the next turn. So for example, since Sergeant Tyrion provides an order, if Sergeant Tyrion were to die in battle, then this army, instead of having 3 order tokens, would have 2 order tokens. One final thing to note, so even though Sergeant Tyrion has a small star symbol, which is actually on his unit tile, that is not counted when you add up the number of order stars for your army. So just ignore that small star and focus on the larger stars. So another symbol that we've seen but we haven't talked about was the breaking point. So any recruitment tile, support tile, or recruitment option that has units on it will have a breaking point. The breaking point is shown as a red skull, and it's either just a red skull or a red skull with a number. If it's just a red skull, then the number is effectively 1. So for the Green Raiders, let's have a look at what this red skull and the number 3 mean in terms of the breaking point for this recruitment tile. So on the battlefield, you will have 4 units of sluggers. But over time, some of those units of sluggers may get killed. If that happens, then place the unit of sluggers underneath the Green Raiders recruitment tile. And repeat this as more units of sluggers are killed. So the remaining units get closer to their breaking point. Their morale gets lower and lower. When 3 of the 4 units of sluggers have been killed, at that point, the Green Raiders are broken. So as soon as the Green Raiders lose their 3rd unit of sluggers, the recruitment tile for the Green Raiders is flipped over. As soon as the recruitment tile is flipped over, then your opponent will receive the number of victory points that are shown on the rear side of the recruitment tile. In this case, your opponent would get 8 points. You'll also notice that there aren't any order stars on the rear side of this recruitment tile. So this means that in the start of the next turn, you will have lost an order. If recruitment options are still alive, then they do not get flipped over when this recruitment tile gets flipped over. So for example, if you had a truck as a recruitment option, only when that truck is destroyed do you then flip that recruitment option over. So it's possible to have recruitment options flipped over and still have a valid recruitment tile, or to have recruitment tiles flipped and still have valid and available recruitment options. Some recruitment tiles are very special. They are command tiles, and they usually have an important leader or an important squad that are the leaders for your army. So here we see the recruitment tile for Captain Sicarius. He is the leader of the Ultramarine 2nd Company, and as a result, he has a command tile. A command tile is identified by these laurel leaves that sit around the squad badge. When you have a command tile, any recruitment options that get added to a command tile can be used by any other unit in your army, with the exception of customization options. So I've added the customization option, the Primarch's Wrath, and that can only be used by Captain Sicarius because that's a customization option. So finally, we're going to have a look at the online army builder. This will make it much easier and quicker for you to build armies. So I'm going to provide a direct link to the army builder in the description, so look out for that. So first of all, navigate to the Devil Pig website. That's www.devilpiggames.com, and you'll get a screen that looks something like this. Once you get there, you need to click on the Tools link at the top. That will then take you to the Hero System Army Manager. That's an army manager that was initially created for Heroes of Normandy, but has been extended for Heroes of Black Reach. To find the Black Reach version, you need to click here. That will bring up a screen that looks something like this. So this allows you to build armies of Ultramarines and Orcs by adding recruitment tiles, support tiles, and recruitment options directly into this tool. So in order to start, you need to click on either the Ultramarines or the Orcs buttons on the right hand side. That will bring up a list of recruitment tiles for those different armies. Once you've selected a recruitment tile, what you'll have is something like this. So I've selected Sergeant Voralanus' tactical squad, and you can see his recruitment tile there. Next, depending on where you click, you can add support options, recruitment options, etc. If you click here, you can add a support tile. If you click on either of these two locations, you can add a recruitment option. And if you add something by accident, all of the tiles and options have the little red X in the corner, so you can delete them and try and add something else. One of the great things about this tool is that it only lets you add support tiles and recruitment options that are legal. So as well as being a really good tool for building an army, if you happen to have built your army manually, you can also come into this tool and check your army and make sure that it's all valid and you haven't made any mistakes. As you build your army, the army builder will keep track of the number of points that you've spent and the number of orders that you'll have when you play the game. So as you add and remove options, that points total will change and the number of orders will change. This army builder doesn't let you print out the results when you've finished, but you can just take a screenshot of all of the recruitment tiles, support tiles, and so on, so that you can take that away and remember the army that you've built. So we've reached the end of this tutorial all about building an army. So let's have a look back at what we've covered. So we started off looking at recruitment tiles. You have to have at least one recruitment tile in order to start army building. From that point, you can add support tiles, either faction-specific support tiles or just general support tiles. On top of that, you can add recruitment options to both recruitment tiles and support tiles. Some recruitment options require you to replace units rather than just add extra units, so look out for that replacement symbol. Once you've built your army, we've talked about how you work out how many orders your army has. We've looked at the breaking point and what that means. And finally, we've gone through the online army builder, which can help you to build your armies more quickly and more accurately. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope that it was useful to you. If you've not played the game before, or if you're new to the game, then do subscribe because I'll be creating more of these tutorial videos in the future. Thanks, and see you next time.